So the main question is, who is the real pain in this film? Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing A Real Pain. What's it about? Pretty simple premise. Jesse Eisenberg, Kieran Culkin, they are cousins. They're going to Poland to honor their dead grandma. And while doing this, what struggles have occurred in the past, the people in this tour group, what's going to come out in these 5 to 7 days in Poland? Pretty damn simple. So, did I like this film? I thought it was a well-crafted film. There is very interesting character dynamics in this film, as well as scenarios where you're like, yep, I've experienced that and I've seen it, and it makes me go, am I a Jesse Eisenberg in the world, or am I a Kieran Culkin? And I think that's a very well-rounded argument or, hypothesis that anyone could say. Because honestly, when looking at these characters, I'm a lot more of a Jesse Eisenberg, where I just watch the room. And I'm not the one that goes after people and tries to make conversation. That is my dad. That's my brother. Me, no, I'm a Jesse Eisenberg in this movie where I'll just, I'll help people. I'll be in the background, and that's okay. But, there's always pros and cons to these type of characters. For example, the Kieran Culkin one, while he might be, in your face and always be honest, there is a aspect to him that, sometimes you do need to simmer it down, especially there's a scene in the graveyard. And the Jesse Eisenberg, sometimes you need to break out of your shell, but sometimes you're just not that person. When I'm at work, I have an analogy. Eagles and ducks. You have eagles in the world, and you have ducks in the world. They're different, completely just species, if you want to put it that way. Type A, type E, wherever you want to put it. The eagle soars. They want to be a go-getter. They want to do everything, and they just want to go up the food ladder. You have the ducks, though. They're chilling in the pond, and they are okay with where they're at. They are good with where they're located. They don't want to rank up. They are just fine. But this is where the dynamic gets struggling. You have the eagle try to train the duck. Now they're both pissed off because the eagle is going to try to get the duck at their level, but it's never going to happen. And it's the same way where you try to tell the duck to be an eagle. The duck's going to be like, nah, I don't want to be the eagle. I'm fine where I'm at. So you do have that power dynamic as well as personality dynamics, and that completely shows in this movie. So I do think the positives is the directing and writing overall. I think how it's shot, the sights that we see in Poland, as well as just the overall aspects of this film. For example, there's also, like I talked about the graveyard, there's a great scene in the graveyard where I'm on tour guides as well when I did a European one, and sometimes you do wish the tour guide would just shut the hell up and just let us take things in. And sometimes it is like an encyclopedia just talking and talking and talking. Sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you're just like, you know what? We're here. Let's take in our sights and let's be quiet. So I understand that aspect too as well. But then I also understand the other aspect of like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't do that. That might be just a little bit too far-fetched. So like I said, there's really good power dynamics in this film. It is a very simplistic movie that it is no shit a trip around Poland and seeing if these cousins can get along through and throughout. I overall think it's a good story. There are some, dynamics that talk about the past in this story where, suicide comes up, or just the overall, I want to say the American image or the immigrant image or the laziness, if you want to put it that way. And what I mean by that, there is something in this movie where, the first immigrants come in this country, doesn't matter what race you are, it sucks. And then the next generation really goes to college, gets all the money, and the third generation is lazy as shit because everything is cush for them. You've had 2 generations that have done so much. And that's why I kind of get pissed off with what we talk about today's day and age, where it's like you have the 20 through 25-year-olds that are like, everyone above us ruined it for us. It's like, did they ruin it, or you've just had such a soft life that you don't know what struggle is? And they know what the struggle is, and they were the parents that helicoptered parents. Because when me growing up, I lived on the street, just got to be home by dark. But now all of a sudden, like, if you keep your kid in the yard, people call the cops. And it's really freaking odd in my opinion. I know that doesn't really have a lot to do with this movie, but I think it does at some level. If you've seen this movie, there is a scene at a dinner table that kind of correlates with that. So overall, the negatives, I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending. I wouldn't say it was abrupt, but it does a good circle around for what the story was trying to do. But also at the end of the day, it didn't feel like I got closure with some of the characters. So I was like, that's fine. And some of the, side characters in the train car or in the tour group, they were fine. And I do think some of the interactions with them and Jesse Eisenberg were a little bit off compared to Culkin and the tour guide. And I just felt like, Jesse Eisenberg is the one that's trying to cool, calm, and collective and have everyone have a good time. They kind of put him on the background, which that also kind of shows society where the loud ones always get the praise or always get noticed. But you have the good people in the background that do what's right, but never really get the credit they deserve. So overall, A Real Pain's a good family dynamic movie that really thinks about the past, the future, and where we are headed as a world. That we shouldn't forget all the, fucked up shit in the world. And like I said in the first reaction, there's also a good thing about, should we be sad all the time, happy all the time? There is an in-between, and this movie shows the in-between. So A Real Pain will receive a 4 out of 5 Futons, which equals at 80%. So see the critics' news scores gave this one. Critics, we have a 93% with 29 of them. And this is odd. This does have a critic consensus, which, like I said, what correlates to critic consensus now with Rotten Tomato? Because I've seen, 40 reviews, no critic consensus, but 29, we have it. Anyway, led by a steel, scenic turn from Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain is a powerfully funny, emotionally renaissance dramedy that finds writer-director-star Jesse Eisenberg playing to his strengths on either side of the camera. And after watching the Q&A for this one, it does seem like, Jesse Eisenberg might have a fear in speaking in public. That's just my guess. So 93.80. Chase Lock here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if this Blue Futontopia, you Blue Futonians. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And I don't care if you watch this today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. I love every single freaking one of you. I tried to do some sports betting today. I sucked.